from this extraordinary human rights room here at the UN in Geneva. And of course, today we're talking not just about human rights, but labor rights and the rights for everyone to achieve social justice. Once again, for the International Labour Organization, and particularly for this very important panel that we're going to start, which is all about trade, employment and sustainable development, advancing human and labor rights.
This need for our multilateral organizations to push the frontier a little bit more from what is technical and what is normative to what is political. And I'm very happy to hear this from the two representatives that we have today. And this is the debate that we need today. Because when you have rules, they will need to be enforced, implemented. And in all countries, whatever the topic is, SMEs, social dialogue, you will always find a dichotomy, a gap between what the market tells you, enforces you, wants you to do, and what the society demands and asks for.
We have started launching this concept of a human rights economy. We have had even internal discussions with the UN about this, but also to look at investment and trade decisions that are being made and negotiated and see what is the human rights due diligence impact of the decisions that are being taken, because it may, in some cases, lead to a renegotiation for it to be sustainable and for it to actually do the things that it's supposed to be doing, meaning creating more wealth and more distributed wealth so that it benefits everyone.
Why don't we do it by attracting supply chains to those regions and those countries that were left behind in the first wave of globalization? And we call this re-globalization at the WTO. So we can have conscious policies, just as we have conscious labor-centric policies. Let's have conscious policies to incentivize businesses to look where there's business-friendly environment, and there is in other countries. Morocco is one, so it's not just China plus one. It can be China plus Morocco instead of China plus India only, or Indonesia.
Digitalization is a transition. It has a cost. Who is going to pay the cost? Is it something that the bill is going to be divided between the companies themselves at the levels and the government? Are local governments, regions in particular, do they have a role to play in terms of funding, depending on the institutional infrastructure of the country? The second transition that is important is on skills. Because when you talk about digital divide, you will need to upskill, you will need to reskill. The human resources managers can tell you that, and it has a cost. Retaining talent has a cost. Multinational companies do have HR policies to fund, to retain the talents. They work on a greater ground, but not, unfortunately, the SMEs.
And I just wanted to make a couple points about why it's so important to ensure that small businesses succeed. One is, of course, that they are 90% of the world economy. Secondly, that they're over 70% of employment. But more importantly, they are also the businesses that are most likely to engage and be inclusive. And so what we have to do is, how do we help businesses get into the digital space? Because frankly, if you're not there, you're going to die.
I believe in dialogue. I believe in spaces where we are not only negotiating, but exchanging views, exchanging perspectives, and trying really to build the bridges. Without overshadowing that there are differences, yes? Yes. That we come from different perspectives, that are different, that we are, there is heterogeneity.